actually I am BJP supporter da, but in this case I will not support them.
So where is our reserves going? Our reserves are going only into foreign investments.
Unemployment due to COVID.
It's affecting the globe as a whole.
It really affects even the middle class people, it seems.
So it's affecting common man, it's affecting the day-to-day expenditure and all.
Have you noticed that Indian rupees value has been falling down continuously for the past few months, right? What do you think is the reason for this fall?
Yes, of late everyone knows that the value for Indian currency is being reduced. Is reducing over the months. One main reason is that unemployment due to COVID. Because of COVID, there was a lot of unemployment. People weren't given jobs. They couldn't go out.
After overcoming from the corona period, and since there is a war between Ukraine and Russia countries.
I think it is the Western countries mainly the US and things like that, where inflation is higher and higher. Therefore, we have the lowest record of Indian rupees in the past decade or something.
The problem is that India is a large importer. So we import. So when we are importing, the cost of expenditure is varied from the other exporting states.
It's a personal, not only personal, actually throughout the Indian economy. 6 months back it was around 70 rupees. Now it is 80 rupees, 82 rupees now. If we go to US, then naturally if we give you only 82 rupees, then only we will get a dollar. Naturally we are going down. Our prices are increasing. Definitely it is affecting a common man also. There is no doubt about it.
I think we are moving into a more pathetic situation than what we faced in the lockdown. Because currently, if we see our economy, we are having a deflated economy and we are having a devalued currencies. This is definitely not going to improve our investments. Like foreign countries are definitely not going to invest in a case we have all less value of money.
And now many of the companies has asked its employees to go for moonlighting jobs, which shows the state of India that the unemployment rate is going to increase further in the future. And if this is the case, we could also see even more decrease in the value for Indian currency. There was a recent report by the government stating that India has beaten Britain to become the fifth most having the highest economy in the world.
Actually, according to the recent status according to the statistical report, Bihar is the state which have 0.2% in unemployment rate. Is that okay? But
I think it's the geopolitics and the economy which is mainly contributing for this thing. As a common person, I'll be very genuine. Since my parents are paying, it's not actually affecting me as an individual personally, but still we can already sense the Indian economy collapsing already, and it's not even recovered after COVID-19 thing.
So it affects ourselves, it affects the common man, because we can see if you go to a nearby petrol pump, you can see that what devaluation has given to our common people. It's now I think 106 something. So it's affecting common man, it's affecting the day-to-day expenditure and all.
Interest rates have globally increased. The few examples are the increase in crude oil systems and merchant withdrawn from Indian market and so on. If
I'm BJP supporter da, but in this case I will not support them, because after coming into power, dollar is our money is going down only. And what Nirmala Sitharaman is doing, I don't know really. What is that? They are telling one thing, they are doing something. Naturally, middle class people are affecting like anything really.
And definitely we are not going to be affording that high prices to afford for the foreign currencies. Foreign investments, foreign portfolios are really going to be unaffordable by us. So in a long run, we are definitely going to face an inflation. So inflation, which is a rise in price, where we are going to fall short of all money, and we are going to face this kind of threat.
But on the other hand, this is good for Indian manufacturing, because it makes our products much more cheaper for them to import abroad. So it's a mixed bag. The concern that we should be looking at is if this falls below 85 and the RBI doesn't have the forex reserves to keep propping it up, then what happens to the Indian economy? That's really where the issue is at, rather than anything related to the government.
Look, in India, most of the families are middle class families. Their earnings is just enough to look after their livelihood. Given the current situation, for example, if you go to a petrol bunk, earlier 95 rupees, I think it's for 1 liter, and that was sufficient for one commoner to run the day or a week. But now the rate of petrol is even more increasing. The other essentials like oil, fuel and other resources have been increasing, but the salaries for human beings, they are decreasing. For people, it's been decreasing every day. So it's really hard to match the circumstances and look after our daily lives.
It really affect even the middle class peoples, it seems. For richer persons, nothing, no worries, and poorer peoples will not go to that much kind of products. The middle persons, rational peoples will surely they will get affected.
Prices mainly, because I think even the basic amenity will be hard to access to people who are marginal or who are churning poor, or people like that. I think it's gonna affect the livelihood and the basic quality of living of an individual itself. So it will be a hard recovery. It will take a long period of time to recover, since it's affecting the globe as a whole. It's not just Indian rupees is falling, it's also other currencies raising. Inflation is happening, deflation is happening at the same time. So even traveling abroad, I don't know if Indians can go a lot abroad after this year.
The inflation will happen, for, of course, the expenditure, the raw materials that is consumed by everyday common man will go up for sure. So it will affect on daily basis, and we as a country is a developing country, so our citizens are hugely day-to-day, they have day-to-day jobs, so for people like that, it's going to be a big burden actually.
If a common man earns a monthly salary of 10,000, if the falling in the Indian currency, the rupees of petrol 100 rupees, and he has many various personal uses, it affects a common man day-to-day life. If in 10,000 he cannot manage the every single works, or it's for personal use, it's more than lead to effects to the common man.
Business are going down. I'm working in a company as a deputy general manager. Definitely business are going down. We are not getting salaries. So many things are happening actually, but nothing is going in positive direction. Everything goes in a negative direction only.
I would say, like, we would be dependent on other country for a source of living. We would require their capital to sustain our capital. So I think we need proper investments for our economy, and I would definitely think that if this situation prevails, we don't have enough investments in Indian reserves. So being a common woman in India, so I feel as a consumer that I'm not going to buy something which is going to cost me, if it is just $8, it is going to be definitely more than $100, 100 rupees in Indian value for me. So I'm definitely not going to spend so much of money. So where is our reserves going? Our reserves are going only into foreign investments. So, and we are losing all the reserves that we have to preserve as an asset. So as a result, we are in a threat that we are going to sell our gold once again. The history is going to be repeated, I guess, if this prevails.
Like I said before, consumer products are going to go. Whichever materials where India imports materials, those are already, thanks to the pandemic, much higher. That is going to continue. It's also likely that you're going to see some hiring problems. Indian companies are already paying more than the global average for their employees. That is going to have to continue. Inflation will get worse. On the other hand, like I said before, this could be a boon for manufacturing. The government is liberalizing a few policies for manufacturing. So if this is handled correctly and MSMEs are given enough resources, then this could be a manufacturing opportunity for the smaller companies. But it really depends how you handle this and the way that it's structured.
Actually, one thing we have to notice is, still in India, Adani is said to be the world richest person, among the richest person, and in India he is one of the biggest richest person in India. And recent times he have just taken the order of the cheap food, it seems like. Have you ever noticed that rich people is becoming even more richer, but still there are many poor in these countries who are just facing the lots and lots of problems. Even some people can't able to afford what the basic need actually they have to buy.